Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to many of us. Welcome to Marketing Monday. CXC continues its mission to share knowledge with Marketing Monday, a chat series that began in 2020 and has completed over 150 episodes featuring industry top marketers. So today at CXC Marketing Monday, we have Ankesh Sagar, Head of Marketing APJ, Workato. Welcome, Ankesh. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you, Anuj, for inviting me in this series and lovely to have a chat with you.
Pleasure is all ours, Ankesh. So, Ankesh, the world of marketing is often considered very dynamic and interesting, and at the very same time, very complex. Not always easy to navigate. So let me ask you now, what actually drew you to the world of marketing?
So, in my current role right now, I am handling marketing across APJ. And when we say marketing, marketing is just not one particular function. It has multiple functions within marketing. So I had field marketing, partner marketing, digital, and then content marketing, customer marketing, and also the PR and the media part of the business. So it is integrated approach what we take because we don't see these all functions as in silos. So I make sure that all these functions talk to each other and we present one story to the customer.
Okay, my question was, in fact, I wanted to ask you what actually encouraged you to opt for marketing as a career?
So by qualification on the graduation side, I'm a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
I did not work into that space. And then when I did my MBA in marketing, when you get the inner feeling that you always want to sell something to someone and tell your story. And marketing is all about storytelling. Yes. So I found myself as a better fit rather into finance and all or HR. I found marketing as a better fit for me where I can tell some stories.
Okay, so storytelling is something which really prompted you to get into marketing space, and that's what you've been doing at the APJ. And so could you just share some insight into your current marketing strategy being utilized by Workato and how they align with the company's overall?
So see, how we see market like in APG, I cannot use the same strategy in every region. Okay. Like if you come to India and then India, you can adopt a strategy. But if you see to APJ as a level, every country is different. If you see ASEAN, also in ASEAN, the way you are selling to Singapore versus you are selling to Philippines or Indonesia is different. Australia, New Zealand, even and Japan and Korea are next to each other, but the strategy is very, very different in both the countries. So we are very much into hyper-personalization strategy in every country, and we make sure that it is driven by the customer pain points. We don't want to push our product. Our product comes in the end of the selling cycle, but we want to make sure that we understand their pain point and how we can actually, through our technology, help them to achieve their goals and reduce their pain. So it is more driven by the customer, is more driven by the value selling rather than the product features.
Absolutely. That's what all of us have been doing. Customer is always at the center of our marketing strategy, and as a marketer, the most critical job of any marketer is to establish the trust and position itself as a reliable partner.
And I just want to add here one more thing that gone are those days when you spray and pray or you do generic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I agree.
And the budgets are also not like infinite. So that's why you have to make sure that you go to very, very specific area. You talk to a particular persona, in that particular persona, which industry you're talking about, which level that person is. Because the way you are pitching to a CIO versus the level you are pitching to a director of IT is also different. So we go to that granular level in each and every country and then create the specific marketing programs.
Absolutely. I agree with you. So, there's always been a perception that, one need to have that sales background to be a good marketer. Do you actually agree with that thought?
I would say it's good to have a sales background, but marketing head and the sales head is very different. So let me tell you a good story actually, which I learned in my MBA days, that someone asked that, okay, what is the difference between sales and marketing? And the person actually sent the sales guy to a village where no one wears shoes. And the same marketing guy also. When the sales guy came, says, hey, there is no sale will happen there because no one wears shoes, because the shoe manufacturing company. And the marketing guy has gone there. He said, well, there's a big opportunity there because no one wears shoes there. You can market. It is about the mindset actually. And it is about that because sales, is always like driven by the quarters, right? That, okay, I am running against these numbers, I have to hit that number, then the target. Marketing is actually overall, which is a very big aspect, is branding, which a lot of people feel like, oh, why branding is required? But I would say branding is required because if people are not aware about your brand, how would they really come on your website? So it is a mix of both brand and demand generation. And sales is more in the number side and in the closing side.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, there has been definitely a misconception that having sales background is a prerequisite for I don't think that's a strict requirement in any sense.
I would maybe change a little bit that marketing should always have two stakeholders. One is your obviously end customer and another is sales. So understand your sales challenges, understand your sales targets, and then align your strategy towards achieving those sales target. Then you can really work together with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Understanding the customer behavior is very important. And that's what the marketers have been doing, so far. And the marketers who actually provide that kind of a funnel to these. So with this, I'll just going to move to the next question, which is all about, what are these some key challenges you've encountered in implementing the marketing strategy at the APJ, and how have you overcome
them? So, obviously, you see a lot of challenges when you go to the new markets, and the very, very basic challenge comes up in terms of our database. Okay. Because, if you want to do your own campaigns, if you want to run on LinkedIn, imagine that every CIO or every CFO is targeted by multiple type of technologies, and the platform is either Google or LinkedIn. Especially for the B2B companies, the B2C companies can go through Instagram or Facebook and other sources also, but for B2B it is still limited Google and LinkedIn. Or you go through a third-party publishers or the programmatic advertising, but it's still limited to ads. Now the challenge comes in that the people whom you are targeting, how can you make it more contextualized? How can you make it more perfect so that when they see your ad, they click on it? That's why we have actually come up with the idea which is more user-generated content. Content what we created, we involve our customer also in that.
Okay.
And customer also becomes a contributor in that particular content. For example, I'm talking about a particular use case. So I make sure that it is not a normal use case, for example, order to cash. I should have a proper use case with a customer ABC and how we implemented it, what were the challenges and all, and make a certain set of like 3 use cases, 3 customers. Then the customer, the prospect which I'm targeting can actually fit himself or herself into one of the customer shoes and see, hey, yeah, that was my challenge. So it is more user generated, the content, the customer generated rather than my own company content.
Okay. So you touch upon the database. So in fact, I'll just put up my next question around data as a whole. How does Workato leverage data and analytics, and in fact the other set of technologies as well, to optimize your marketing efforts and reach the target audience?
Very, very valid question, because we drink our own wine. What I mean by this, that Workato is a tool which can be used in many scenarios, HR, finance, or IT. But the very unique case is marketing. So, and I was surprised to know when I joined this company and when we actually use Workato through our tools like Salesforce, Marketo, or any other tools or IBM tools, we see a one consolidated view in our Slack. So let me give an example right now that if I'm running a webinar and if I want to see that how many registrations had happened, I see the real-time update in my Slack.
Okay.
We have a Slack channel on the event notifications or webinar notifications, and I see that, okay, the person who was registered for this webinar, what is the current lead scoring of this person in my system, what are the previous pages the person has registered, I can see their designation, their email ID, their phone number, and I can actually approve and reject. All these things I can do through Slack. And how it has happened, because our web page is connected to our Marketo, to our CRMs, and to Slack also, and email is also automated to them as a registration. So there's no human involvement in this, because we connected as a integration platform, we connected all the systems, and we can actually check everything on Slack, which is a very, very simple thing I'm talking about. Another thing is that when you talk about data analytics, so we also use Workato to connect our sales calls. For example, Gong, we use Gong. So Gong sales calls are connected and recorded, and then we have our own chat GPT I would say model. And then through that model, we concise all that information into our own selling framework based on the call. And then the chat GPT actually divide that as part of our, like, what are the business pain points, what are the challenges, what are the solutions customers looking for outcome. Everything is actually segregated as part of the gong call. And then that information is feed into CRM. Because the basic problem was, say, for marketing is always that the hygiene of Salesforce.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we don't depend on sales now so much, because we know sales is very busy. So why don't we actually capture all this information in the CRM directly? And even we create the automated nurture sequence too, which can be just by click away by the sales, and that sales can do through Slack again. So basically, we know that, okay, if you don't connect your data sources, because nowadays, if you see, every company has tons of tools and the application, the platforms. But we make sure they connect all those tools and all, and then we can make the life easier for our stakeholders.
Make a lot of sense. I think data has been very important, and that's what you guys have been doing. It definitely, to some extent, help in measurability. And I'm sure your dashboard can give a better understanding about the customer in terms of their behavior as well. And it can also lead to increase the efficiency as well. Thanks, Ankesh, for putting it so nicely. And let me also ask you something about ABM, because I think ABM is as a term is very passionate, very interesting, and most of the marketers are very passionate about this particular term. So what are your thoughts on the recent shift from ABM to ABX, which is more like experience based? And how do you think this change will impact the marketing strategy at Workato? And how does ABX align with Workato overall marketing goals and objectives?
So, whenever we used to talk to any company, the large companies, and Workato is not that large as compared to the Oracle, so Microsoft of the world. When I used to ask any CMO, the answer was, yes, we use demand base. Okay. Or 6 Sense or any other tool they used to tell. But always we used to wonder that, okay, the tool is just an enabler. When you plan your entire strategy, tool can be an enabler, but you have to tell the entire story as part of that particular account. We actually directly shifted to ABX, because for all these projects, you need a lot of budget also. And we know that, okay, if you want to target a particular account, either it can be a new logo, or it can be more land and expand. So we actually shifted our, thinking that why don't we actually use them into our expansion mode rather than go, because if your software is already sold in that particular account, it's easy to actually go to the other departments and tell them, okay, you're already using it, you're already getting some benefits, why don't you guys try also? And the beauty of our software is that it can be applicable in any department in the company. So because it is so easy to use, and we have a lot of HR actually who use it without the use of IT. So it is like an English written code, basically like connect Salesforce to NetSuite. It's like that, one line. So that's why it is easy to expand into that account. So our ABX is gone in that side, and in the end of the day, actually, it is very important that we treat our customers as humans, right? And that's why the ABX, the X part comes as experience. So that's why if you look at our strategy, is not that, okay, you are just pumping the ads, but just dumping so many content to that. It is not necessary actually, because that will not reach out to the right person then at the end of the day. So it is very important to sit with sales, first of all, understand their account planning, understand the right personas, right person, actually individual person you are targeting, and then define the strategy for that particular account, because every account is different and it doesn't make sense to do 50 account ABM. Pick up your accounts and then plan the strategy for those 5 accounts. How are we actually expanding it? So that's why we have a customer marketing function. And in the customer marketing function, we go across like each and every aspect of that account, that how can we actually make sure that the person whom we want to target is slowly aware about our company. And it is not about selling things, first of all. You have to actually invite them for your own tech talks. Let them be open to talk to their peers. Because the best way to sell actually when the customer sells your solution. And that's
absolutely.
And that's why when I do an event, suppose if I'm doing a Chinese New Year event, my purpose is not that, okay, what is the ROI from that event? Because one event cannot generate suddenly something for me. But it is part of the entire multi-touch attribution model, that this one event When we invite a CIO, they will see, oh, Workato is used by so many companies. Then again, we talk to that person into a separate engagement. So it is a journey when you go in every month. And then at the end of the like 6 months, 7 months, you can, oh, I think now we are well set in this account and now we can actually expand. So our definition of ABX is slightly different in terms of more expansion side right now.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I think you touch upon the customer advocacy. I think that's very, very, very important. Which gives a lot of push to your brand, and that's what you have been doing through ABX. And ABX also, I think, enables you to build a stronger relationship and foster that engagement with those set of targeted accounts which you touch upon. So thanks, Ankesh, for doing that. And so I'll also going to be asking a little bit about the trend part. How does the marketing trend looks like in 2024? Because in 2023 we have already seen the rise of Gen AI and personalized messaging. Personalized advertising, then AI-based chatbots, and predictive analytics and many more. So what do you think 2024 will it going to be an extension of 2023, or the trends are expected to be completely different from what it was in 2023?
So I believe definitely it is an extension. Why? Because AI is here now. Okay. You cannot ignore it. And especially if you see the functions like content marketing.
Okay.
Is like definitely impacted through AI. Right now, if I ask to write a white paper to a particular chat GPT type of function, they can give me a white paper on a particular topic in few minutes. Which company needs to spend so much money to the agencies and agencies
I know.
Time, right? And now I also see, like, even if I upload a white paper and I want to generate the nurture sequence out of it, I want to generate a LinkedIn post, I have to generate a small blog, everything is done through the AI. So the content piece is very big, actually, impacted. But it's time for the content marketers to evolve and see that how can they actually come into the picture and talk about what is a customer pain point and write a content about it, and how actually customer has used this software to really get the entire value from your product.
Mm-hmm.
That will only happen when you sit with the customer and understand, talk to them. So now the content marketing has to take the front seat and be the customer facing role. Okay. Rather than the back-end side, which is more a document hub type of things, which companies do, I think is now more that the content marketing should sit with sales, CSMs, post-sales, and understand what the customer is doing right now, how are they expanding, and create the story out of that particular customer.
Okay.
Because if I see any white paper on cybersecurity in 2024, oh man, it is such a vague topic nowadays, right? Anyone can write in tons of data. But if you write how a manufacturing company ABC actually made their system secure, then it can be more contextualized, more particular to a particular industry and persona. So that's why content marketing has to really now be with the customers, be with the sales. So that's one trend which I can clearly see.
Okay. And apart from that, content marketing has obviously been at the center stage. Do you think apart from that, anything else is
I would say is marketing automation. That is more underrated, I think, a function in a company. When people say, yeah, okay, they are just running some webinars and registration. So no, it's not like that. Marketing automation can actually create a lot of difference in your company if they use it properly. And let me give you an example right now that we ran a campaign through our head of marketing automation about the deals which are lost. Okay. And with entire analysis that how those deals are lost, what was the problem, what is the issue with the customer. And then we created an entire campaign around it, which generated a new $6 million of pipeline for us. Without having any zero money marketing.
Wow.
So it is basically depends on how you are using your own software, because if you see your CRMs are tons of data.
Yeah.
But if you are not connecting your CRM with your multiple customer advocacy tools, with your own marketing platform and all, you will not get the one view of the customer.
Yeah.
And that's why through marketing automation, you can connect all your systems and get one view of your customer when we call it 360-degree view. A lot of companies claim it and all, but think how many people are really using a 360-degree view of
Absolutely. I absolutely buy your thought. I think it's all about integrating your data and bringing or pulling that intelligence out of it. I think that's very important, and that's what most of the marketers have been doing. I'll also go to touch upon a little bit about the sustainability. So can you just tell us a little bit about how does Workato integrate the sustainability into its overall marketing strategy?
So for us, sustainability, I would say it is not a marketing strategy, it's a company-wide initiative. And it can be into very, very small things also. Like, for example, we have Mondays and Thursdays, we have lunch. Just an example, it's a company lunch. But we made sure that we use all those products which are made of paper cups, paper plates, and all. When the food comes also, like everything is biodegradable.
Okay. Eco-friendly. Okay.
Eco-friendly, very small thing. Second thing is sustainability is also like we run a lot of our own charity campaigns.
Okay.
So we work with the local organizations here, and then food for thought, food for work, and then we as a company, as a group, we go there and help the low income poverty levels, because those initiatives are done by government. We pack the food for them, we distribute that in the SDBs. So we make sure that there's some impact to the society. We call it like corporate social responsibility, CSR, and sustainability, and all these things are part of it. So like recently we did our sales kickoff in Malaysia, and we brought one NGO there, My Tag, that's the name of the NGO, and those guys actually helped us to build the wheelchairs. So we built the wheelchairs for the spastic children, and we donated them. And it was a more gamified thing that, okay, you solve a puzzle and then you get some piece and build a wheelchair. So it should be more fun element also, and then giving back to the society too.
Oh, that's very nice. And with this, we moved down to the last question, which is all about any kind of advice, Ankesh, you want to give it to the aspiring marketers looking to make an impact in the APJ market, based on you have a huge experience, based on your experience and.
So my only like there are many advices, but I can give one. That one is that if you're starting your career, or if you are actually in the middle level right now in the new markets, don't push your marketing strategies first. Talk to partners there first of all, because partners are those guys who are running the business in that market for many years. And if you're going to the new to the market, have more active listening. Be a good listener first. Take your notes. Talk to your customers, prospects, partners. Even check out your competition too. And then plan your strategy. Don't push your global strategy there. Markets like Japan, Korea and all, they don't really think what US is running or Europe is running. Right? So think like a global plus local. You have a global content. Tweak that content for your local market as per their requirements, and then try to do the marketing in that country. It is okay if you are a little bit late in the game, but don't create a wrong image in that country if you're going first and you're affecting your brand, because you will never get a second chance to make your first impression.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you, Ankesh, because when you look at the global market, the regional flair need to be there in your marketing offering, and that's what most of the organizations have been doing all across. The whether it's a developed country or whether it's an emerging country, it's all across. So thanks, Ankesh. I believe it's also a time for us to embrace a lot of personalization also. Apart from that regional flair you said, and also need to harness that data part which you touch upon. Apart from that, leveraging the potential of the AI and establish that connection with the micro influencers and advocacy. You also touch upon that customer advocacy. So I think the future of marketing, marketing in 2024 looks exceptionally promising and exciting for all of us. So as we conclude this episode, I want to extend my gratitude to you, Ankesh, for such an insightful marketing session. It's been complete pleasure interacting with you. Thank you so very much.
Thanks, Robin, for inviting me. Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.